Hello ladies and gentlemen, and we're back. We just finished the 93 person premiere event. I came second place. It's currently 8 AM. I have slept for 3 hours. Not feeling good. The coffee is flowing right now. Oh god, that's good coffee. But what deck did we play? Well, the astute people of the world who watch my YouTube videos will have seen what deck I was on, because I did a video on it and it was the only deck I actually had built and ready to go. It was, of course, the Zephrog, with a small change to the list from the video. So we're going to go through it, we're going to go through my side deck, and then we're going to go through some games and pick out some highlights and the matches that I played against. I don't remember everybody's names off by heart, and it may take me a while to look it up. But either way, this is the second place deck. Got beaten by Brulock. He was a very good game. It came down to the wire, 3-3 spirits, and he just had the Ladigon to beat over my rabbit and do what he needed to do. Good on him. It was some good stuff, and hopefully we'll meet again in the finals sometime soon. So, what we're playing, we are on the double base set Zephrog because I don't have the money to buy the serialized one. So this card is actually really insane. It may be low stats, being a 4/3, but it can attack the spirit deck directly, and when it deals damage, it doesn't have to be from a direct attack. Just as long as it deals damage, you look at your opponent's hand and rip a card from it. That effect is really good, especially in my round 1. I managed to get past a big body that I just don't have an out to. So Zephrog just circumvents anything that's too big to get rid of, and you just hit directly and boom, you are sorted. The next cards are how we're going to get Zephrog into play, because obviously no Tadpuff anymore, so it's a bit more difficult. So we're on the triple Magnaros. Now, it was kind of 50-50 whether I searched for the Champion Aetheros or for Soulmates, because the Champion Aetheros, you can easily get it through the standard Aetheros, just through playing that, using Aphrodite, add it to hand, special cast it, Nexus, draw 2, really good. So sometimes I'll just add Soulmates, and Soulmates came in clutch a few times during my games. And obviously I've mentioned it, so we are playing the Aphrodite's Aetheros. Really good card. Everything becomes all your Aetheros become a base 5. Really strong card. And obviously we are playing the triple base Feroce. It's Nectar of the Gods, but as a fish. If anything, it's going to end up going the way of the Equilinx and Kinleo, where it's going to get limited because it is such a strong effect. Which, if it does, it's not too much of an issue because you do have Soulmates in the deck to bring it back out. So long as you've gone first, I suppose. Going second, PTA'd, it kind of feels bad. But even then, drawing 2 extra cards for them paying 2 spirits for a PTA, I'll take that trade any day. What else are we on? We were on a triple Champion Galaxy because obviously Galaxy kills 90% of the format, so why not just run it? It did come into play quite a bit, but not as much as I'd like. A lot of the times I was either high rolling really hard and just hitting and not letting my opponent stick anything to the board that required the Galaxy. Not anything that required the Galaxy, it just kind of ended up being negligible whether it won or not. But obviously it's a good card, it's definitely a free of. We're also playing free Champ Foamy. This, I can discard and expend 1 to search for the Zephrog, so you don't really need to play 2 Zephrog, but I like playing the 2 because the first one will always die. It's the second one that gets you. But yeah, it's a good card, and on cast, search for Aphrodite, so if you've got Aetheros in hand, or even better yet, if you've got 2 Aetheros in hand, cast it, grab Aphrodite, you're good to go next turn, especially if you've got Chains of Prometheus. And then the last water card, which I changed up from my video, is the Caprigal Champion of Aphrodite. Now, during testing with Cayman, this card, I saw it as actually a really good value. Like, against Morfrost, they have no out to it. I believe I played Bo, and when I got this into play, he didn't really have an out. He could have Scorpioed, but I don't know what happened. He had Scorpio in hand with Morphros. He had the spirits, but didn't use it to out the Caprigal. And I just don't know. It was a bit of a weird game, but the Caprigal can come in clutch against Morphros. Also, just popping a face down rune is really nice. Because we're only on the one, we have to expend one, which is kind of there, but it has to do. Like, we're going to. We're not running two. It don't come into play that much. As you saw in the finals, I misenchanted it to just try and swing, and I needed a body on board because I had another Foamy in hand, and I could have Foamy, search, ascend, swing for game with the Zephrog, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. And the last card that you've seen is Ash Rabbit. This card was getting sided out quite a bit. It wasn't as good as obviously the other cards, and I was siding this out for more back row removal that was more specific to what I was facing against. So that is the Elestrals lineup with Zephrog and obviously the fish package being the absolute MVPs. Zephrog, not only did it not just win me games, but just the threat of it made people scoop. I can't remember who I played against. It may have been the top 4 match. I searched for the Zephrog and they scooped. And I'm fairly certain I didn't even have a wind spirit left. I just added it to hand and he scooped. So always wait until your opponent casts it. That's my Top Gear top tip of the day. Invoke runes were on the 2 Ambrosia. I kind of did side this out quite a bit. It didn't feel needed, so I may even just cut Ambrosia altogether. But in the times I did get to use it, Ambrosia adding back with 2 Fire Spirits is really clutch. Especially when you get the second chains. It's just really nutty. And then we are playing the 1 resting. I would like to fit Earthquake in here, but the spirits are a little bit tight. And it kind of gets a bit wonky at that point. Obviously we're on triple Aphrodite. It's just a broken searcher. Like this needs to be limited on the Aetheros because disenchanting 1 is so strong. Like it needed to be a disenchant 2. Like playtesters, come on. I mean, what are you doing? Aeolus takes 2 for a search. So should Aphrodite. After that, we'll go to the counter runes. Now these are just the usual counter runes that everybody uses. We've got triple Gorgons, double PTA, double shield, double Panda Box. And then we are also playing the double Soulmates, which comes in absolute gangbusters when you've got the Aetheros Magnaros, and they swing over the Aetheros. You just bring it back out, and it's like, yeah, it's like nothing ever happened. Yes, it costs you 2 spirits, but it's not that big of a deal. And then the 2 Chains of Prometheus, which is awesome in the main. Jameson, you are the GOAT, because you've been saying run Chains of Prometheus in the main for ages. I've took your advice and it's worked. This is the first live stream tournament I've actually played in. I've not been a fan of the format up until this latest ban list, where it's slowed things down quite a bit other than fish, and Morphros is still quite fast, but yeah, either way. The chains comes in really handy because they still have to pay the full cost for shield, so when they shield your Zephrog, they pay 3 spirits and then they still take the 2 damage because you've just changed their shields. So that is the main deck. Let's go over the spirits. Now if you watch my video, the spirits haven't changed. So we're on 3 Thunders, 2 Wind, 2 Fire. This is where it gets a bit clunky because it's like you want Earthquake spirits in here for the Earthquake, but I just couldn't really justify the room because I kept needing lots of water spirits, especially with the Caprigal to expend to pop. Then the rest of it is water, so we're on 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 waters, and that is the spirit deck. Yes, I could probably cut 2 waters to go to 11 and put 2 earth in here, but I don't know, I just felt like I always needed water, especially when you see a base Feroz, Aphrodite, and then searching for Champ Aphrodite. That's a lot of spirits gone straight away, because you always have to put 4 onto your Aphrodite, so that the next turn you can disenchant, search for another Aetheros. So it's quite a lot of spirits straight up, and it feels bad to not have water spirits. You're expending the fire spirits before anything if you don't see the chains. the Wind Spirits end up going pretty quick, and the Thunder Spirits are quite tight. I had quite a few games where if I had a Thunder Spirit, Magnaros would have got me the game, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. So let's go over the side deck. Now you may see it in the previews that Elestrals will post. I am running a 14 card side deck because of the 2 Frostfall boxes that I opened, I only pulled 2 copies of Poison Nectar. Now I am really pissed off about it because I thought I had 3 copies, and in hindsight there is some changes I will make to this side deck if I was going to play this deck again. For sure, like there's some cards I just never sided in and just didn't feel good to use or have in here. So we'll start off with the aforementioned Poison Nectar. This is great against Aetheros and Chimera. When your opponent draws a card, you can use this card, flip it up, and it negates that effect and destroys the card. So if a Nexus 2 Spirits to the Aetheros to draw 2, you can negate that and destroy the Aetheros. So that's 3 Spirits of theirs gone. Also a funny interaction against Bo, which I didn't know. It makes sense when I think about it, but I was getting tired. If you Chimera, ditch Bat, and then you Poison Nectar it, that Bat that they've discarded brings back the Chimera, which is insane. Even though it's in play, because it destroys it on the way the chains work. He doesn't get to draw, but he gets to recast it. So it does cost him 1 spirit, so it's a 1-for-1, but it is what it is. But yeah, a 3rd copy of this would have been really nice. But 2 copies is still good enough. It's like 2 copies of chains. It's good enough. We're also on the double Tsunami. I put it in the side. I didn't put it in the main because, to be honest, I was expecting a lot more water decks, and I went against a grand total of 2. One was in top 4, I believe, or top 8. Another one was my round 1 against a Champion Majesty. So I was expecting lots of water, so I didn't put it in the main. I never really sized it in. I sized it in against Morphrost, and that was literally it. I didn't feel like I needed to side it into many other things. Maybe the Dionysus matchup could have been nice. It could have maybe saved me, but we don't know. That's a maybes sort of situation. The next card that I sided in for Solar, because I expected like lots of Guardians, Cathmels, and Draco Rays, was Spoiled Fruit. Never got to use it. Never casted it once the entire day, which is crazy. I wish I could have used it against a Draco Ray, and it would have been amazing. Just pop that guy. That's extra spirits are very wasted, but never got used. So I may cut 1 copy, just run it as a 2, change it for something else, which we'll discuss in a sec. The next card I sided in was the Waylance with a Frost Spirit. The Waylance was probably for the Aetheros matchup as well as Morphrost. I tried to use it, but I never actually managed to get it out. I did side it into it. In my Aetheros match that I did play against Chronodile, I sided it in, I drew it, but I just never needed to use it. I didn't need it. It just didn't feel good. But I would still keep it in the side deck because it is a good card for against champions. It's just insane. The next card is the card that I'm definitely going to cut because it never came into play, and it felt like there was no matchup where it felt good to do because it would also hurt me, and that's triple Dense Fog. Like, if I was to change things about, I would definitely take this out and maybe 1 Spoiled Fruit for a PTA and a shield, so I've got 3. Maybe a 3rd Panda Box and a random card that I do not know. Probably a 2-drop water guy that's a bit bigger, and maybe another Capricorn, because the Capricorn was pretty sick. So that would be how I would change it. So we've got a PTA, a shield, a Panda Box, and then a 2nd Capricorn in the side. That's how I would do it in hindsight. But yeah, that is the entire deck. with side deck. Obviously, 14 cards. I don't have a third copy of Poison Nectar, unfortunately, which is where it would go. So it just proves that you don't need a full side deck to actually do well. The games went really well, and we're going to go over some highlights, and we're going to commentate and see how well it actually performed, and we'll go over some key moments. So we will see you in a minute. So my round 1 opponent was Carthus, and he was going first, so he goes Poseidon, and then he gets out the Sluggle turn 1. So he just turbos into the Champion Majesty straight away. So my only option to this is finding Resting or Zephrog to beat round it, so I have to try and draw cards. So I'm going for the Aetheros, obviously Aphrodite, Disenchanting, to find the other Aetheros, which is the base set one, because I had the special cast one in hand. So we special cast it, and now both of our Aetheroses are a 5. We go to Nexus to try and draw 2. He had no back row, so I was pretty safe at this point. And I draw 2, I set a few cards. After we set cards, we go for a Foamy to thin the deck out. We grab the Zephrog ready for the next turn. So on his following turn, he goes into a Foamy and then tries to find the Eddy, which is fine, and passes from there after setting 1 card. I Aphrodite again, he goes for a Panda Box. Good play, and I let it go through. I mill 2. But after this, we then go and attempt to Nexus with the Aetheros to draw 2 more cards, because the more cards you see, the better. I put my Aetheros in defense and ascend over into Zephrog, because I don't want to be stuck with a 2 attack in play. So I get to see his entire hand. He has the Eddy that he searched, a Plucky, which is kind of dead, and a Sluggle. So I know he runs 2 Champ Majesty, because he played a different artwork compared to the first game. So the obvious choice is getting rid of the Champ Majesty Turbo, which is the Sluggle. He then tries to go for the Eddy, and then tries to go Rock in a Hard Place, which is good. He targets the Zephrog and my face down, which is shield, and then I Gorgons the Ascension into the Curubis, and shield the Majesty because he tried to attack into me. And that is the end of round 1. Now for round 3, I've got a full board of lots of fishes against Bobfish, who doesn't seem to have quite a lot, and he plays his Temple, and then obviously, because he's on Solar, he's going to play his Nova Core. Now he casts out the Nova Core, and I don't really have anything for this, unfortunately. Not directly. So he destroys my base Feroz with 3 spirits on it instead of the 2 spirit one, and it tries to attack over the 2 spirit one. I have shield, and I also have the little trick up my sleeve. So I shield everything back, thinking about what spirits I need and what I need to put away and what I need to keep, because I was low on spirits at this point. So I draw for turn, and immediately, straight away, I go to Nexus because I don't want to get rid of the base Feroz, so I draw 1 extra card. It didn't really matter that 1 extra card because I already have the Zephrog in hand, ready to go, so I ascend into Zephrog, so I'm able to now remove his Nova Core from his hand with a direct attack. So I can deal multiple damage and remove one is either his Resting or his Nova Core, and Nova Core is much more of a threat when he's got Temple in play. So Nova Core goes bye-bye. And then, obviously, extra damage with the Aetheroses, or Aetherosi, to just hurt him some more. So still in round 3, probably game 2, he tries to use a Lyre of Apollo onto my Champ Aetheros, which is absolutely fine, it makes sense, I couldn't find any tokens. And then he goes to Heliolith, which is really, really good. It will definitely swing over my guys, which would suck, but I managed to have the Gorgon's Gaze set ready for a Nova Core, so I Gorgons the Heliolith. And after this, I use the Aphrodite because I need to thin my spirits down, and grab the Champ Aetheros, because why would I not? And then I use a spirit from Spirit Deck to cast Resting, and that gets rid of his last 2 spirits. So in round 5, I'm against a guy called Sunflower who happens to have a Anti-Titan list. At the minute, he's trying to swing into my Aetheros with a Spectrus, so in the battle step, I Gorgons it and just make it die, and I stay alive because I'm still at 5 because I've stopped his suppression effect, which is absolutely perfect, and it leaves me with an open board to do what I like. So after a while, I've managed to get some cards in play. I've managed to Zephrog him. I get to look at his hand, and he just had a hand full of guys. So the only threat there is the Norby. The others I'm not really bothered about, like an Arbud to search for another Norby or something like that. It's too slow for him. So getting rid of the Norby is the only logical thing to do in this scenario, which is what I do. Next, we're at the end of the game, and he does the same thing again. He tries to swing Galaxy over my Aetheros, and at the point of attack, I stop the Battle Step Gorgons again. It just feels bad for him. Like he got really unlucky. Like he drew no back row and just is so unfortunate. So in round 6, we are currently 4-on-1, and we're against Bo, a very good player, and he mulligans once, and then he mulligans twice. Unfortunately, he still won that round. And then in the last game, he mulliganed again. So he just got really unlucky with his deck, just mulliganing multiple times. And at this point, we had a funny interaction on our game 2. He discards Bat with the Chimera effect, and I poison Nectar to stop the draw and to destroy the Chimera. But the Bat, because of the way the chains work, brings back the Chimera, which is really, really funny. I did not know about that interaction, and it makes sense when you think about it, but yeah, it's still pretty cool. So he's just explaining it, and then later on he actually does it again, and I have the second poison nectar ready, and that's a 2-spirit Chimera, dead and gone. Yeah. So later in the game, I've got the Caprigal out, and he can't really do anything about it, and then to end the game, it's a Galaxy to swing. So I've got a full fishy board, and he has a lone Nomodile with no back row. He goes to the expend, and I just Gorgons it after thinking quite a while. Hoping that he just won't be able to do anything else with it later. So my point now is to just try and draw and find the out. I have to ascend into something to do what I need to do. So I go into the base Aetheros to try and draw cards. I have to siphon spirits so that I can actually Nexus worthwhile and drawing 2 cards. So we go ahead and do that. We Nexus to the champ Aetheros to draw 2. He has no back row, so it's uncontested. The following turn, he goes for the Champ Galaxy and tries to out my board. He goes for the Aetheros, and I need to stop that because I need these spirits on board to be able to win this game. We then stop that using a Shield of Achilles, using a spirit from the Magnaros, because I need to keep my Wind Spirit in the Spirit deck. So what I do then is I Nexus again to draw 2 cards, and hopefully try and find this Zephrog that I've got in the deck. And luckily, through the miracle of the gods, with the 1 spirit I have remaining, I siphon and ascend over everything for fun and go Zephrog swing for game. Then in the next game, he tries to do the same thing again with Nomodile, expends, and I just say, nope, I'm going to Panda Box that and hope for the best. And this is the way to do it against this deck. It dies so quickly to this. And I luckily had my resting ready. For the top 4 game, which was streamed, I got a really lucky start in hand against his fish board with the Aetheros and be able to get Panda Box on the Aphrodite search, but I had Chains of Prometheus, and this made the commentators go absolutely nuts. So I managed to be able to do what I needed to do. I found a resting eventually to start clearing his board, and I accidentally said Galaxy, and I meant to do the Champ Aetheros. Otherwise, I would have been able to wipe his entire board without having to crash. Then the next game, he goes for a Waylance, and I have to try and do something. So the Aphrodite searches for the other Champ Aetheros, and this gives me another guy on board. And he has no spirits remaining, so he can't actually cast anything. And I know he can only remove one of my guys. So he goes through my entire deck looking. I don't know what he's actually looking for in particular, but he's just going through and he's going to be ripping out the Aetheroses. But he actually didn't want to do that. He did say, wait, hold on a sec, and then wanted to go back. He was just on about the Aetheroses. He didn't care that I milled him, he just didn't want me to draw the Zephrog. So he was giving me the highest likelihood of not drawing it. So I find the Foamy, I already had it in hand, and I Foamy expend to grab the Zephrog and swing. So then later he has a, he goes for the Foamy effect to try and find the Waylance to out my board, which would make complete sense with him having 2 spirits remaining. And he just had to hope that I didn't have a Zephrog. So after he searches, I have to Gorgon's Gaze this Foamy, just so he can't ascend into the Waylance. And after that, I'm fairly sure that the right play to do is to go for the Zephrog rather than the Champion Galaxy I had in hand, and attempt to swing direct for game. And that is how it works. He tries to shake my hand and then throws his cards. Well, those are some of the highlights that happened during the entire event. So now we're just going to watch the entire finals, uncut, ready for you. There wasn't anything in particular that stood out to me, so we'll just watch it. I mean, I came second. It was really close. It just depended on whether he had his one of Lockagon in hand, and he just happened to have it in hand. So there's nothing I could do about it. It was just a close game. So let's get into that game and let the commentators take over.
Yes, I understand. Okay, I have heard back on the wellness check of the Zephrog player, and they are here in the finals today. The lone Zephrog player has made it all of the way, and it's not just the Zephrog player to get excited about Kay. They're going against Earth Nexus and Tarbur, piloted by Urlock. Kay, how are you feeling today? I am just so stoked to the moon for this finals.
This is going to be incredible. And honestly, like, we are the Zephrogs of the Tadpuffs that you couldn't send to Tartarus. This is incredible. I cannot believe that this is the finals that we are looking at. It's going to be so fun every single turn. It's going to be cool stuff happening. And me personally, I would love to see Centaur and Frog, Lobster versus Amphibian at the same time. And I believe our co-commentator did in fact say would be cool if they kiss.
That'd be really hard for Zephrog because it's going to go over the Centaur into the face of Burlock, but you know.
Yeah, maybe that was Zephrog's goal all along. It's just trying to give a kiss. It wants to turn into a prince, but in fact, it just keeps missing and going right for the spirit deck. Finally, we're getting answers.
Yes. I think Zephrog is here for a vengeance today. All of its children sucked to Tartarus. It had to show up and really let us know what's what.
I am so excited. Earth is so back. Frog was it ever here in the first place? I don't know, but it's here now. By golly. And oh my goodness, this is shaping up to be an incredible finals. And I also want to say that no matter the outcome of the grand finals, we are going to be leaving today with a brand new premier champion who has never won a premier event before. So this is already history in the making. Zephrog and Centaur, two casters who are brand new to winning a premier event. This is what they write stories about. It's like in the old stories, Mr. Andrew.
Everyone would be happy about a Zephrog victory. I think everyone would be happy to see Centaur win a Centaur as well.
That one would be truly poetic, and the part of me that's like, oh, I love a good story. It's like, yeah, give the Centaur player the champ Centaur. But that being said, I'm so excited about both of these decks. I would be thrilled one way or another, and one way or another, we're in for some incredible casting, some really exciting games, and never before seen plays, because what do you do when a frog and a lobster fight? I don't know.
Rulock, the Centaur has to hit the board this time, okay? We gotta see it. We gotta actually see it. And you have to show us whether or not, say, Timber's in there.
Wait, true. There's so much that we need revealed here. And I will say, while I was able to watch the match with Brulock, it was one of those that I wasn't commentating. And so, while I was out doing my dog motherly duties, I wasn't able to fully watch. So some of this is new to me. All I know is that every time I looked back at the screen, it's like, is that and I can't wait. I can't wait to be here for the action.
It's very interesting. We effectively have two players on really interesting fives engines. Brulock on Viserys, Astronite on the Fish, both of which have some Nexus shenanigans, again with the Fish on Astronite side, Sproutier on the Brulock side, both with just high ends that are going to do amazing things no matter what with Zephrog and Centaur. In a weird way, it's almost like a mirror match, except for two different elements that are doing similar things.
They're actually calling it Fisherus. That is what they're coining this combination of five.
Fisherus?
Yes, Fisherus.
So you're saying that Viserys, the thing that existed first, is now getting named after the thing that just came out? Okay.
Such instantiations, unfortunately.
Okay. I did not know that the Aphorists were conquistadors. I will keep this in mind.
The more you know, there are frogs hopping around, there are fish that are going in and plundering the mantises, and oh my goodness. Now we actually have some actual information to share with you here, despite our clearly fantasy world that we're living in here with the excitement of this next round coming up. Both of our casters here, very storied, very experienced. Brulock, no stranger to top 8, having made it to top 4, as well as top 8 twice, top 32 in the Dallas Open, which is absolutely nothing to turn your nose up at. Astronite, twice going to top 16, but this is their first time in Top Cut. Imagine first time in Top Cut, you win the whole thing.
With Zephrog.
Yes. What a beautiful story we're preparing to tell today for all of you.
When Centaur wins, yes.
Yes, or Frog, or Centaur, or Frog, or Centaur.
We'll flip the Gambit coin and determine right now.
True! You know we have to do it. No, I cannot wait for this match. I'm so excited for these finals. Also, I gotta say, it's been a long time since I've gotten to be here for a finals. I've been doing the interviews, and so I get to watch it on my couch, and the whole time I'm like, oh, I gotta ask about that later. Oh. But now I actually get to be here with you, Andrew. I'm so excited. We're in the action. We're getting ready to get this going, and what an exciting one to do.
This is going to be one of probably my favorite matches I've ever commentated with two casters on decks I'm just so excited for. There might not be much Lunar, but Owloon is just shaking with excitement over here. Also, just very excited to watch this in the background. It's going to be a good game for your Water and Earth Spirit fellows today, Owloon.
Yeah, listen, I've got I've got the Sluggle here and the Terratlus. They are ready for the action.
Hey, how did you know? How did you know? Who told you?
I've got the Astrabit here too. My real predictions are actually in the background. Forget what I said on stream. Fox and the little bitty baby over here. That's what it is, the fun.
Oh, we love it. We love it. We're excited to get into it. I gotta say, Burlock, please land the Centarbur. Astronaut, please land the Zephrog, and just have them kind of like run into each other. Just make it happen. I know the Zephrog dies in that scenario, but you know.
Hey, listen, he could prevail. You never know. That is always the dream going into finals like this, whether it be the times that we've had two giant dragons on either side and we're like, they gotta both hit the board at the same time and the dragons have gotta fight. But now it's like, what if a centaur and a frog fought? Have we ever thought about this? Has this ever been animated? I'm not sure.
This is true. This is true. Certainly someone has animated it. I don't know. Someone in the Elestrals community who is skillful can get us the Zephrog and Centarbur animation of them at the bar after this match.
Oh, that would be perfect. And with that, it looks like we are getting ready to get into the finals. Brewlock versus Astronite, Centarbur versus Zephrog. Brewlock will be starting us off. Let's get into it.
All right, Brewlock, show us that Viscerus you love to play turn 1.
Are you already familiar with Brewlock's playstyle and how this deck looks? So that will be very fun.
Oh, no, we're going Cyanectar here. Wonderful opening, going Cyanectar into PTA will be quite the move here. Even if Astronite gets to land a fish, one of them is going to be able to get ripped away so that they're not a 5 on Brewlock's next turn.
I think that in this case, if we see Astronite go Magneros, you wait, target the Aepharos. If not, then you just try and target one of them. But either way, these fish are not long for this world. However, we could have Whale Arrow question mark. Nope, just Aepharos. We're just getting the fish into the Fisherus, as the kids are saying, I guess now. They are calling it that. Absolutely.
Okay, we get the champ. I expect we're going to see the poison-tipped arrow onto the champ once it comes down.
There we go. Exactly what we thought that was going to be. And the fishier of the fish has been harpooned.
Ooh, but the Aphrodite was in hand. I imagine searching another champ fish here to be able to replace it on the next turn, although if Brewlock can clear the Magneros on their turn, they're going to prevent Astronite from building too wide of a board here. But Astronite actually opting to go for the original Aepharos there, maybe hinting at the fact that a champion is already in hand.
I think that's usually what that would imply. That or Astronite's got some crazy back row in hand and feels absolutely certain the next turn is guaranteed. However, there we go. Set 2, and it looks like we are going to be swinging for 2. Brewlock going to be paying out that PTA, and the Cyanectar goes down as well.
Okay, the Magneros is only a 3 now, so basically any body does it here.
And that body is, okay, the Zephrog.
And that's actually pretty good, knowing that Astronite is going to go back into fishes. If it wasn't PTA, rest in peace, Cyprong. Assuming it wasn't PTA and Brewlock had some protection, it would have been able to stick around for a turn and then use its ability to pop the fish and prevent too much of a board getting built up. Unfortunately here, I think the Cyprong is going to just not do much, head off to pasture, and Astronite is going to have a multitude of fish on their board next turn.
Fortunately, despite arrows flying all over the place so far this match, Cyprong does get to use its effect. We went in and searched the Dionysus, so we will at least have that available to us. Going to be going ahead and simply going down. Astronite paying out that PTA, taking the Cyprong out. And as we know, we are ready for more fish. You were right. We did, in fact, have the other champ in hand. And there goes the special cast. And we know that we have that base Aepharos available to us if Astronite so chooses.
Yeah, and he so chooses indeed.
So we have chosen. Okay, meaning this Nexus is live, meaning this draw power is live. And Brewlock very quickly looking at a board that he needs to do a lot with, as this is about to be big damage as Astronite has chosen to Nexus 2 spirits onto that champ Aepharos.
If Brewlock has a shield, they can get some big advantage by clearing the spirits off the champ Aepharos. It will just be able to special cast itself again, unfortunately, but Brewlock can buy off some damage. We're not going to see a shield. It looks like, though, Brewlock gesturing, preparing for expending. Astronite appears to opt to not attack with the champ Aepharos, not wanting to risk that there is a shield there.
Ooh, very interesting.
And the second Cyprong was in hand all along, Kay. What does that mean for Astronite's board?
Well, it would mean a lot, but I think that was another poison-tipped arrow that immediately went and hit this Cyprong. However, we know that Dionysus was already in hand. We went and searched another. We will still get the effect, which means that champ Aepharos is not safe.
I imagine we're going to see the champ Aepharos go here. Unfortunately, with Aphrodite still with spirits on field, Astronite can just search the third champ Aepharos.
And I imagine that is exactly what we're going to be looking at doing. However, there goes the Aepharos that was fully loaded with 3 spirits. That's a huge hit for Brewlock, getting some of that value back. Astronite having to just say goodbye to that and then still pay out this PTA to get rid of the Cyprong.
We saw... Oh, okay. So what happened here? Second Dionysus was played to enrage the Cyprong that had been dazed, allowing it to attack and crash with one of the fishes. Aphrodite now cannot search another champ Aepharos because Magneros is not a water Elestral, but Ask Rabbit. Ask Rabbit will simply find an Aetheros off the top of the deck.
It is just another fish, actually. You thought that was a bunny? Think again. Don't trust your eyes. And it has been swimming with the fishes all day. I really like that play from Brewlock, utilizing the 2 Dionysus that he had to be able to get maximum value out of that side prom, despite knowing that the PTA was imminent, saying, if I'm going down, you're going down with me.
Now, it's been so long since I've seen some good attack rabbits, and we've seen so many good attack rabbits today, Kay. Doesn't it just bring you back to yonder years of Elestrals? And by yonder years, I mean like 6 months ago.
No, it was years past. Again, we've been talking about it, where if you see a rabbit in attack, you are not safe. There is probably an Argo set. But, you know, hey, this could just be Astronaut going in for damage at this critical juncture in the game. Who's to say?
Who's to say, indeed. We have not seen a Sproutier or a Viscerus from Brewlock, though, so there are some good options available to them for this coming turn. It will just depend what they have in hand. And what they have is apparently an Ambrosia, which is going to help them build a bit of a spirit differential here, maybe stay alive if they don't have something to contest this strange Thunder Aphrodite board with.
Hey, you just need something that can beat a 2. And oh my goodness, speaking of 2, both Ambrosias have hit the board. Was it ever limited? Was it ever going to get hit? I don't know. We haven't witnessed such a thing today, as it has been more prominent than ever, almost in defiance of the new ban list.
It does appear that there are no Elestrals for Brewlock, though, but there is a fully loaded back row, so hoping to just be able to prevent Astronaut from going too far here. Astronaut does have a whale, which probably seems totally fine to Brewlock. A whale into an empty board doesn't really hurt you at all, and will be easy to hit over on your turn if you need to.
Yeah, and this is one of those rare cases where if Brewlock happens to still have Tsunami, you could get some value out of it, or you could just choose to take this damage from the rabbit and the Magneros, leaving the rabbit in attack there. We are going to go ahead and use Aphrodite to grab the other whale, as the kids are saying, and we simply will continue to cast Champ Galaxy.
The whales will continue until morale improves, sadly.
And there goes the 3 damage for Brewlock. Thankfully, we did see those 2 Ambrosia, so despite the fact that we've been taking a lot of damage, we haven't been getting a lot on the board, we are still pretty tied in spirits, and we don't have too much to deal with here. This Galaxy is a threat, as the reenchant could challenge anything that Brewlock wants to play out, but everything else is sort of benign right now.
We unfortunately see another pass from Brewlock here. With 4 spirits on board from Astronaut, that's going to put Brewlock pretty low. Even if they do manage to get something like a Viscerus on board and attack over now, it's going to be hard to come back from the spirit differential they're going to be at after this turn.
You know, I have to say, from what seemed to be a deck just packed to the brim with Elestrals, and only Elestrals, we haven't seen a lot of those from Brewlock in this first game. It makes me wonder what that opening hand looked like, and if Brewlock said, you know what, I'm playing 38 Elestrals, I'll see him. Sure.
Well, we saw 2 Psyprong and a Cyanectar from Brewlock, right? Like, if I had a Psyprong and a Cyanectar in my hand, I would have been like, yeah, that's good. But then you draw no more Elestrals the rest of the game. That's rough.
That is quite rough. We do see the Cyanectar running it back here. However, Pandora's Box going to be coming out, and we're milling an unknown 2 cards, as that has happened off screen for us. We'll never know.
Cyanectar is going to be able to contest most of this board in this state. The problem is that we know there are whales in hand that can just kind of flip the stats and flip the script on Brewlock here. So they're going to need some juicy back row, I think, to not get overtaken on this next turn.
Yeah, I think exactly, Gorgons. That's probably it. Swinging over this whale, hoping that Astronaut has nothing to be able to prevent this from happening. There we go. We see the swing, and the whale goes down. But as you said, we know that Aphrodite searched the second one, so hopefully Brewlock's fully loaded back row here is full of valuable things. However, Ambrosia coming out once more, going to be putting Astronaut even further ahead in this spirit differential.
Yeah, it's a tough position for Brewlock to be in. Even if they have the Gorgons now, it's going to put them to 0 spirits, and Astronaut's going to be far enough ahead that just a Cyanectar and a Dream is probably not enough to come back from it. Normally, I'd say this is where you top deck Ambrosia to get back into the game, but we already saw both Ambrosia from Brewlock.
Very true. So we know that there aren't any lurking in this deck, and there goes the whale that we knew was foretold, added to hand. And it looks like we have a scoop from Brewlock, which, fair enough.
Absolutely. You know, variance is a real thing in card games, and sometimes you draw runes 5 turns in a row.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know, we've all had games like that where it's like, could I draw a guy? Would that be okay? And unfortunately, Brewlock was not able to see that until the end. And even when he was able to see it, it seems that Astronaut just had all of the answers in that game 1. Now, going into game 2, as we know, the side deck is an invaluable tool that our casters have at their disposal. Andrew, what are you grabbing to go against Fish? Do you think Brewlock knows that there's a Zephrog?
I don't think anyone expects a Zephrog. I don't think anyone sees that coming. I think that will be a rude awakening should it drop on Brewlock. I think you get a Cryoblast here. Cryoblast deals with Champ Aetheros, right? You chuck the Tsunamis to the wall, you grab your Cryoblast and put it in. I've been saying all day, Dense Fog to stop the Champ Aetheros attack stats, but I've never seen anyone do it. I really don't think Brewlock has that in their side deck, so I'll stop suggesting it.
I was going to say, I don't know that we saw any spirits from Brewlock that weren't Earth. So that would possibly be questionable.
Yes, so, yeah, I don't know. Or maybe you just run it back and go, that was a mistake. I'll see the Viscerus this time.
Hey, you know, statistically speaking, it is bound to happen. Brewlock going to be able to start us off here. It looks like has already started us off here.
Indeed, we have a pretty juicy back row set up already with a Dionysus and 2 face downs. I assume that is
I think it's the
projecting a madness. The Sproutier has already Nexus and done a search. So we're off to the races in game 2 here quite quickly, Kay.
Yeah, we are already looking at what appears to be a very different deck. Immediately shooting this bunny with its arch nemesis, poison-tipped arrow. Astronite starting off a little slower than last game.
And Brulok with the search is going to have a body in hand. I believe, did we see the Drataya get searched off of that? So I think we're going to see
in fact, a very strong 2-drop here in the Latagon. And this is exactly what Brulok wants, is to be able to get ahead of the flood, ahead of the fishes. And I think starting off.
Yep. Now we see 1 back row from Astronite. We see 3 back row from Astronite. So that Drataya is praying that's 2 Ambrosias and a Chains of Prometheus.
Hey, it could happen. Oh, it looks like we're seeing another Nexus from the little bitty baby back to Dionysus. Grabbing the Dionysus is a madness. So setting that up for the future.
That is a powerful card when you have Dionysus on field because it can re-enchant from the underworld onto the Dionysus. It can change the position of an Elestral, and it can daze and or enrage something.
Oh, it looks like we are simply going to be going Viscerous, which unfortunately there isn't anything for Viscerous to swing over here, but a Viscerous nonetheless, which, hey, I hear 5s are pretty good.
Hey, you know, Fisherus doing its work today, earning its keep. If it wins this match, it gets to be called Viscerous again.
The Victorous, I think.
The Victorous, there we go. Okay, you are so right. Speaking of Fisherus, here is the one true fish, champion of Aphrodite, and an Aphrodite on field. So I expect we're about to see a few fish hit the board.
I think that you're probably right about that one. However, we at least know that little bitty baby Sprouter with its big 5 booty over there is safe for the time being. There we go. We've got 2 fish, and we have an Aphrodite on board as well as a Nexus bank if Astronite wants to go ahead and go for the Nexus, which, hey, I don't know why you wouldn't. There we go. We see 2 spirits being Nexused onto the champ, Aphoros, which we saw this last game. Brulok looks at that and says, ooh, that is a tasty Cypron target.
That is indeed a tasty Cypron target, which they can just add to their hand with Sproutier next turn if they want to.
So unless Astronite is able to do something about the Sprouter right now, I think that this Aphoros is in some trouble. Looks like we're really thinking about this one here. I have often said that one thing the Viscerous doesn't want to do is attack into back row, but I think if you've got a fish fully loaded with 3 spirits, that also does not want to attack into back row.
Yeah, and we are just going to get the pass to Brulok here, who I assume is just going to go Drataya and try to bait out the back row, and that is indeed what is happening here. Drataya, champion of Dionysus, when it gets enraged, has the ability to ascend to Latagon. If they choose to ascend to Latagon, champion of Dionysus, it is enraged from the ascension, and when it is enraged, you get to pop a back row. So potentially a very explosive turn here. We do see the champion Latagon from...
And a textured full art, too, which is gorgeous. Listen, Brulok, where's the playmat? You had to do the double flex, but hey, you know what? I love the Barabbas. I gotta show love to him, too. We do have the Latagon on board. Not only that, but we see the coins being used to show the enraged status. We love to see it. And we're going to be going ahead and targeting a back row. It was a shield!
Yes!
Andrew, does it ever resolve?
No, apparently not. Never.
Not even one time. Okay, and there goes the Nexus of the Sprouter. Going to be going in and searching.
Maybe another Madness in this position? Yeah. So we got 2 Madness in the back row there. That means Brulok could, in theory, stop a full board from attacking with 2 dazes and 2 position swaps, 2 defense.
That's madness. Okay. Been waiting on that for a long time. Anyways.
Guffaw. But the second shield was there all along. It didn't matter.
Some of them do resolve, I guess.
Very interesting. Now, what I'm curious if Brulok will value trying to crash with a Viscerous. You can crash with Viscerous here, use Madness to enrage the other Viscerous you get from the crash to then attack again. Oh, no, okay, so that was a Gorgon's Gaze to attempt to get rid of the effect of Aphoros, and the Gorgon's Gaze was Chains of Prometheus. So instead what we now have here is madness. Utter madness. Correct. The Madness could put something to defense. We could crash with a fish and still do the Viscerous move I was talking about, where you enrage your own Viscerous and have it attack again. And then you'd still end the board with 2 Viscerous. So that might be the play here, I think.
I think it depends on if we had another Madness set, as that first one was set face down this turn, as that was searched. But it looks like we did, in fact, have all of the Madness. We are ready to go.
I don't think we are in Sparta. I think we are in Madness Town.
Population Viscerous, I guess. Anyways, so Viscerous going to be going out here getting the 3rd Viscerous. It's the 3rd one that gets you. And you know what? He's free. I'd love to see my boy living his best life out here with all of his friends. No offense to Firestorm Viscerous, but you just weren't doing it like the OG.
It's, you know, it's hard to pass up the original.
Hey, sometimes it's good to go back to base set, I've heard.
Often. Quite often it is.
Okay, so now we have double Viscerous on the board, and notably, no fish.
Notably no fish, that is correct. But you're always only one fish away from a full fish field, so...
One fish quickly becomes two fish, and depending on if you've got the stellar, red fish quickly becomes blue fish. Is that something?
One fish, two fish, yellow fish, blue fish.
Yeah, we'll work on it, we'll work on it. If we're going to be fish metagaming, we've really got to work on our fish material. Oh, resting on your laurels, coming out, getting, the poor baby Sprouter who's been around since turn 1 finally gets taken down.
I'm surprised the target wasn't a Viscerous, because the Viscerous is now a 6 still.
Well, when they're calling it Fisherous, I imagine you are able to swing over the defense position 1, and fish comes out on top and is able to crash if you want.
Well, but we know that's a madness back there, right?
I think we do know that.
Maybe I'm misremembering. I thought that last set card was a madness, in which case a daze and a swap to defense is going to nullify the fish onslaught this turn.
Yeah, well, speaking of, there goes fish and Aphrodite for fish. Whoo!
Going fishing.
Yeah.
Some vicious fish sticks.
Yeah, they're really biting today.
Is Zephrog 1 fish or 2 fish, Kay? What do you think?
Listen, we've 2 parts of a whole, 2 souls become 1. I don't know. They should kiss? I don't know.
Okay.
Speaking as a Pisces, I feel like I am an authority on this matter, personally. Oh, and there's Ambrosia again. Sure, why not?
We do see some Ambrosia that's going to be key from Astronite to keep up the spirit differential. Brulok getting low here. As long as Astronite can get 1 body to stick, Zephrog could sweep this up.
And I'm always saying that, yeah. And we have the swing over. I imagine the defense position Viscerous going here pretty quickly. Although
we see some hand gesturing. I think our players are confirming something real quick. And yep, that's the madness.
Madness going to be switching this Viscerous into attack position, bringing that Earth Spirit from the underworld, putting it on the Dionysus. And we, in fact, just have a crash.
No, that would have been a kill. You would have swapped the Viscerous to
very
attack.
true with the 6.
Yeah.
I saw them leaving, and it's like, okay. But in fact, we have a concession from Astronite, which means that Brulok has won game 1, which means, what's that, folks? Centaur is 1 win away from becoming a premier champion.
We're almost there. We're almost
One
there,
more
Kay.
win.
We can do it. 1-1, the all-important game 3. Both of these casters doing their stuff. Sproutier there just giving massive value to Brulok every single turn. Just every single turn, doing a Nexus, doing a search, going off to the races, finding all 3 of the madnesses. Was just a beauty to see the Sproutier really go off like that. You know, Nexus searchers are always something that's very interesting. They have fantastic search targets. I love myself a Kamalis, a Nexus searcher in my personal heart. The tough part is getting the Nexus banks you need for those Nexus searchers to go off to the races, but Dionysus with its side prong to search it out, you can make it pretty consistent, and Brulok here expertly piloting it today.
I mean, it goes to show the exact weakness of 5, and that is when the 5 is in the defense stat, it just kind of sits there unless you find removal, and Astronite happened to find the one of resting on your laurels, but before then, Sprouter was pretty content to just post up there and, like you said, get value every single turn. So this final game, I love when a finals goes to game 3. Both of our casters have been able to show why they are here, how they made it to this point, to show off what their decks do, although we still haven't seen the Centaur, gotta say.
Brulok, search the Centaur. Search the Centaur.
Just go for it. Aura points. We will reward you an Aura win. It's not the same, but it is something.
It counts for nothing, but it is a redeemable coupon for a bowl of chili.
You're gonna have to take that up with Andrew. I have nothing to say about that particular one. However, I cannot wait to see who is going to be our premier champion for today. Will it be Zephrog? Will it be Centaur? Let's find out. Oh my goodness, Astronite going to be starting us off here, I assume, which means that we could see fish flood the board, which I think is exactly what Astronite needs to do on this turn 1.
Or a whale.
Or a whale. Classic.
Brulok's whole deck kind of revolves around 5s as well, so, like an OG whale in attack position is just kind of a threat.
Very true. You could just plop that down. Hey, we've been talking a lot about Champ versus OG Whale today, and in fact, yes, it is still an excellent card. Astronaut going to be starting us off here. Looks like we've already got our first play ready, and it is fish. Shocking.
The fish is just simply always in the opening hand, Gabe.
Well, when
Who
you
needs
have
Aquarius? You just always have Magnaros.
or you just play 6 fish, and statistically speaking, you're probably going to see one of them at least. And the real question here is, are we going to see Aphrodite to be able to get the next fish for next turn?
The pre-fish catch. I'm also very interested to see the number of backers going to be really important. If it is less than 1, then, Viscerous is going to have a real juicy time munching on some fish.
Although we do see the 1 set, so there is something. I don't know. I think we would have seen the Aphrodite go down by now. Yep, we are simply going back over to Brulok, who immediately casts that side prong, which eats these 5s for dinner. There goes the Dionysus search. We didn't see a Gorgon's Gaze on the search, so I'm thinking we're not going to see a Gorgon's Gaze on the effect either.
Sometimes even if you have Gorgons, you let them search the Dionysus just to get them to waste the spirits. But in this deck in particular, you should absolutely never let that happen because Sproutier's hiding somewhere.
Dionysus is far too valuable for that, certainly. And there it is, fully loaded, going to be going for the effect and popping There we go. We're dazed with that beautiful coin popping the champ Aphoros. Oh, Soulmates was set.
Oh, nope. Sorry, Cyprong, no fish snack today.
Hey, you know what? We were talking about Soulmates earlier, and very cool to see this card actually doing something here. That makes me very happy. It makes my little heart made out of water, like in the picture, very happy.
And we see Magnaros number 2 for Champ Fish number 2. That's going to be a full fish board for Astronite.
Or another, okay, I was going to say, or another Soulmates.
That's true. That would have been an option.
But that does tell me that we probably haven't seen the Aphrodite yet, so I understand. We got to get the fish going. I did love the Soulmates play. Brulok here in a very tricky position with this Cyprong. However, 2 back row might be able to defend it.
Look, you just need exactly 2 Madnesses.
That's all. And, or an Argo.
An Argo for what I imagine is a Scythe of Demeter?
Or, here's this. Dionysus is also an option? Oh, it is Scythe of Demeter. There we go.
It would have to be Scythe because Thyrsius does not give you defense.
Oh, okay, Madness. I see you, not Madness. Okay, there we go. Boosting up the defense. Does this mean that there's a Demeter lurking somewhere in this deck, or is this just a tech for this exact situation? I don't know.
There's no Demeter. Scythe is just a good card.
Hey, let a redhead dream, all right? You didn't have to, that was an immediate no. You didn't have to hit me with that. Anyways, we see Cyanectar Champ coming out, going to be going ahead, and...
Searching something, I imagine.
Searching something. There was something else happening there, but now we are back to it. Looks like, oh, that is the Waspivy coming out here. Ooh.
Oh, that was an OG Cyanectar, not the Champ Cyanectar. I mistook the art there. So we are going. Wait, are you telling me Brulok has Waspivy, Latagon, and Centaur all in the same deck?
Was this a? Did we get it from the side deck, or were they all in there? What's going on? Where?
Brulok,
how are you? Most importantly, how did you not see any Elestrals in game 1? That's what I need to know.
Oh, how did you hide this Waspivy from us for 6 games, Brulok?
I have no idea, but she's here and she's gorgeous and she is threatening a burn. Oh, there goes the resting on your laurels. Goodbye, Cyprong. Goodbye, Scythe of Demeter. Well.
That does deal with the Waspivy potentially. They will have to deal with the burn for taking out the Waspivy, but that might be all you need to win. If Brulok doesn't have another comeback this following turn, you have a full watery board to overtake with.
Yeah, simply saying, I would rather this thing go and I will burn and then still do damage to you. And I think that about equals out the value of me taking these 3 spirits of damage from you. However, we do see Ambrosia coming out here. Again, it's like it was never limited.
And Brulok here appearing to have the opposite of their game 1. Game 1 was Oops All Runes. This game seems like it might be Oops All Elestrals with not very much back row from Brulok. But they do have yet another Cyprong, so that is going to be enough to, well, actually not pop a fish because there's no Champ Aphoros on the board right now, is there?
It looks like we don't have any 5. So I think that this Cyprong is simply just an attacker here. You know, I never thought I'd see the day that Cyprong was just a 4.
Hey, you know, just a 4. That's totally cool. Taking the whale out is a good option here to prevent the re-enchant, although it is really scary to think that a single champ fish does just do Brulok in here now.
Yeah, we have really gone down to the wire at this point. Will it be Centaur? Although I think that that's generous. We've seen a lot of Viscerus, we've seen a lot of Cyprong, or will it be Zephrog, which is also generous. We've seen a lot of fish and a lot of whale.
Oh.
And expend to draw.
Foamy switch.
No. Oh, it was foamy. I didn't see the foamy. I said, are we doing the Swolax special at this point in finals? No, okay, we're actually getting value out of this card. Cool.
We're getting a Capragol.
Oh,
is this just a deck then? Because that would be, well, even at Misenchanted, ascending it would let you hit over the Cyprong, right? So I guess that does provide sufficient value.
6 is a good stat, and it looks like we are, in fact, going to be just ascending. I was going to say maybe we have a special cast Aphoros, and maybe we're going to cast ascend it over, but no, we are just relying on that 6 attack stat.
We've seen 2 Cyprongs from Brulok this game, I believe, but there is a chance the third one is right around the corner to deal with this Capragol. It is not. Instead, it will be a Viscerus handling the situation.
Well, you know what is also a 6? Viscerus, when there's 2 of them.
That is correct, but the 1 in defense is not long for this world.
Unless, hey, we have a set card, could be a madness. We could see a run back of the last game here.
That is absolutely true. I think, did we see a daze of the Capragol there or no? It looked like they were gesturing to the Capragol with a disenchant from Dionysus, but maybe I missaw that.
Hey, if we could get a coin on the board here to make that more clear. Oh, a water rabbit. Okay, we've got a thunder Capragol and a water rabbit. There are no rules. What's the animal kingdom? I don't know.
Okay, it looks like we get a pass to Brulok here and a hard ascend into Latagon.
And we do have the ability to enrage it with the Dionysus still on board. There we go. So we see the enrage of the Latagon, who is going to be able to now destroy the Capragol. What? And then?
Well, so
Oh, question mark?
I think Ledagon just pops back row, right? I
Does
don't
it?
think
Okay, then we enrage for no reason. Cool.
yeah.
I trusted Brewlock on that one. I was like, no, true icon, probably. So the enrage is interesting then. I wonder if that was for a particular reason?
So here's the thing to consider. There is one Zephrog tack away from victory here for Astronite.
That is something to consider. We could have sinned over the Astrabit. It is water enchanted.
Exactly.
Oh, wait. Oh, true. Do we see a wind spirit? Are we going to see Frog for game again? Frog for tournament? We are
Or
all...
is Ladagon just enough? 8 is a big number.
8 with a 5 defense. Ladagon eats fish for breakfast, I guess. And
the move is lots of decisions here in the final moment. I think we're going for Zephrog.
Oh, I think we're searching it. Okay. Yeah, we see the Foamy going for the Zephrog. There we go.
Now here's the thing. I believe Brewlock has 2 spirits left, so unless there's an extra way to get a spirit on this Zephrog, this isn't game winning right off the bat.
This might be just aura farming.
So thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it with your friends, everything. We're going to be getting some more deck lists will be coming out soon, and hopefully we can get some more tops with some interesting decks like for Zephrog, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, good luck out there guys in your clashes, and peace out.